you need to take off your headphones, put them away, and come into the real world. If you want to improve your social life, how people respond to you, how long you're involved in conversations, if you want to improve your social fitness, you need to take off your headphones. Wireless headphones in particular have exploded over the last 10 or so years. The constant use is making you feel isolated. This whole channel is for people that feel alone. It's for people that feel like they can't quite break out of the shell, the mental prison. So if you're someone that struggles with this, I really think that you can do yourself a great deal of service by taking out your wireless headphones, AirPods. They're some of the coolest things. I love them. But what I noticed was it felt like I was naked when I didn't have them. I really, really struggled when I didn't have them in particular on my commutes. In New York, we're always going somewhere. We're always walking. We are always on the subway. And we have a lot of opportunity to wear these. And that's apart from when you're working and you want to, kind of break off into the world. I think it's great for that. If you like to work and listen to music, or if you're on a phone call, or you're just thinking, and you just want to come off into your private world, it's great. But why do you want to be in your own private world 24/7? Why do you need to be catching up on Netflix on the train where you're only like paying attention 35% of the time? You got people coming in begging for money, people starting fights. Ask yourself, what don't I want to feel right now? Ask yourself, where are you trying to get to that you always need to be listening to a podcast or a book or a YouTube video when you're waiting on the elevator or the train, walking somewhere? What don't you want to feel? But what if I'm not in the mood to talk, Sam? What if I'm not in the mood to connect? Well, why aren't you? What's going on? What are you feeling? What are you avoiding? What are you anxious about in your life? And can you acknowledge it? Can you let that feeling in? Can you let it intensify? If you could do that, then you're going to feel better. And if you feel better, talking to people, coming out of your shell, is not going to be so bad. It's not going to be so scary. When I tried to talk to women about this, their point of view was, well, you don't get it, Sam. You're not a girl in New York. It sucks for us. No matter what we're wearing, there are always men harassing us. And let me tell you, I've seen it and I believe it. Of course, you're going to want to shut that out. That's why there's so many girls walking around with giant headphones, nearly getting hit by cars, running around New York City. It's because they feel safer, less harassed. They feel like they can just kind of put their head down and survive these uncomfortable interactions. I completely get that. But could your medicine also be hurting? You think about all the commercials you see for these things. What are they advertising to you? They're advertising a bubble. They are advertising you disconnected from the whole world, because the outside world is a scary, violent, disgusting, savage place, right? If you believe that, of course, it's going to make sense that you don't want to be there. Of course, it's going to be attractive to want to get these things. Is ignoring the emotions that come up in situations the best way to go about things? It could be effective short term, but I find that a lot of women that do isolate themselves tend to have a different experience of the world. It's a lot of fear. I've made a distinction of like private space and public space. I think private space has really intruded on public space. Public space is space that we all share. You know, when I go into the gym now, There used to be just music playing, and that's kind of how people would work out, is that there'd be some shitty playlist or radio that would be blasting through the whole space, and now everyone's got their AirPods and they're listening to whatever they're listening to. Great, everyone gets their own private space in a public space. Everyone can customize what they want and have their taste and doesn't have to share anything. If I see someone over and over and over again every day, you don't talk to them. That's how I used to make a lot of friends back in the day. I used to make all my friends at the gym because that's where I was all the time. Going at the same time and everyone else would be there. And we'd say hey to each other and say, what's up? What do you do? What you working on? That does not happen. You don't see guys talking to girls or girls talking to guys. I'll keep saying it. If connecting with other people isn't important to you, you don't have to listen to me. But I think a lot of us feel like that's missing in our lives now. I think a lot of us feel like we just don't share anything anymore. We get up, we live by ourselves, we put on our headphones, we go onto the train, we go to work, but nothing new happens. There's nothing special. You don't have a pleasant conversation with the neighbor about how shitty the elevator is. You don't hear the compliment on the jacket that you spent a bunch of money on. When you're on the train and something crazy happens. Maybe someone got on and started screaming and it was like, wow, that was something, man. And you look around and everyone's at their headphones. And you want so bad to share that moment with someone. You want so bad to connect with someone else just for a fucking second. Just to look at someone like, wow, did you see what just happened? Did you see that? And you share that human moment. It's hard to share a glance with someone when everyone's on their own planet, There's actually a really cool commercial for these headphones, and the woman is literally floating through space on the street in a physical bubble. Complete isolation, complete privacy. Why do you put a physical barrier between you and the world if you want to get better at talking to people? If you want to work through your social anxiety, why put a barrier? We can isolate ourselves in a lot of different ways. We can physically isolate ourselves. We can go into a room and be removed from everything. You can emotionally isolate, even around people. You can just shut off everything inside and go into apathy and not feel. Let's say mental isolation is, I am here walking in the park, but I'm listening to Joe Rogan talk to Elon Musk. I'm there in the studio with them. I'm thinking about Doge and Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not thinking about the sun coming down and warming my skin. I'm not thinking about this little creek that's right under my feet. I'm not with the trees that I'm around that I don't see every day. I'm physically somewhere, but mentally somewhere else. So try taking those out and just see how you feel. Write down what comes up. Really try. I'm going to tell you from experience, this is like a drug addict having their heroin ripped away. You're going to go through some withdrawals. I promise. It's going to feel so weird if you're used to music all the time, if you're used to podcasts, books, YouTube, whatever. It's going to feel weird because your mind is always used to running, working. But if you can slow down the input, regulate the stimulation, your nervous system's going to slow down and you are going to come into the present moment. You are going to be able to appreciate where you are, no matter where it is and what is going on. Put them away when you're out in public space. You got to take a phone call? Fucking use them. You got to concentrate? Great, use them. But when you take them out, notice what is coming up. What are the feelings? Where do I feel them in my body? Am I making these feelings wrong? What are the stories I have about these feelings? Are those legitimate? Can I let them go? Can I feel open? Ask yourself those things. See how you feel. Let me know. And talk to you soon.